for the rotation going into the 2025 season, and what are my 3 favorite bobbleheads that I've received as an Astros fan. Let's get going right now.
This is Walker Yannick. You're listening to the Htown Astros podcast.
Hello and welcome to Htown Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chansey.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome into this edition of Htown Astros. Tonight, it is a frozen, frigid solo edition of Htown Astros. I'm your host, Htown Wheelhouse, and you can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411. That's Stros with a Z at Facebook and Instagram, and at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. It looks like Mama Wheelhouse is here and the gang is back together. Rio, Panda, Jay, Brooklyn, Bailey, Mr. Garza, Mr. Ortega, Emilio, so many more. You're all here. Thank y'all for tuning in to Htown Astros, and my friend Lucy, she's here as well. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. You know, the offseason is always a mixed bag of goods, and sometimes we got a lot of news, sometimes we don't, but we do have some updates and some things that are significant. But before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime is an amazing app. You download it. The first, when you create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Gametime is what time it is. So thank y'all for tuning in. We do appreciate y'all stopping by. Look, we're 75 subscribers away from 13,000 subscribers. Help us get there tonight. But we want to say thank you, Mr. Justin Verlander, for your service. I do not think they will be trading Cam Smith at the trade deadline, as Jeremy Brennan is bantering about on X, I guess, to get clicks about, joking, because the last time Verlander signed with another team, we traded prospects away only to bring him back. And then when he came back, he didn't really contribute. But there were so many great things that Justin Verlander did. I'm going to flash up on the screen his just kind of a little snapshot of his career numbers as a Houston Astro. 73-28 with an ERA of 2.71, nearly 1,000 strikeouts with 962 strikeouts and 130 appearances. Saw his best years with 18-4 in 2022, 21-6 in 2019, 16-9 in 2018, was 5-0 when he joined the Astros in 2017, was phenomenal. But what I want to say is, I've got the top 5 things that I think Justin Verlander accomplished in an Astros uniform, okay? And these aren't in any particular order, but the first thing is he won his 3rd Cy Young. That was an amazing game. That was pretty much the extent of Abraham Toro's tribute video when he came back, when the whole famous "Where the F is Toro" video came out, and they were in Toronto. Actually, I think he had another no-hitter in Toronto as well. The second thing we remember him for is the 2017 ALCS MVP. He was phenomenal in that ALCS. His third great moment was his Cy Young. I said his 3rd no-hitter. He got his 3rd Cy Young in a Nationals uniform. He threw his 3rd no-hitter in the Nationals uniform. Again, he got the 2017 ALCS, and then he became the 18th pitcher to reach 3,000 strikeouts. Pretty astonishing accomplishment. And then I think we can't go without recognizing that Jose Altuve literally loves Justin Verlander. That right there, folks, is the icing on the cake. Justin Verlander, 42 years old, signs a 1-year deal with the San Francisco Giants. And it is, I think, the end of his tenure with the Astros. I don't see a return for Justin Verlander. I don't see any scenario where he comes back. Don't let the people tell you that he will, because I don't think it's in the cards. If he goes anywhere after this, I think what he does is he goes back to Detroit and finishes his career up there. That's what I think he will do at the end of the deal. But it is a 1-year deal for $15 million. So there he goes. C'est la vie. Thank you, Justin, for all your contributions to Houston. I mean, what a great career this guy's had. First ballot Hall of Famer. We know he finally got a win in the World Series. He, I think, is like 1-9. Not a great record, but nonetheless, he contributed. Johnny, he got $15 million. So that's what he got. Hey, that's not bad for a guy that hasn't pitched a whole lot. But, today's National Bobblehead Day, folks, and I wanted to share with y'all my 3 favorite bobbleheads. And if y'all have some bobbleheads that you want to share, tell me the ones you have. Obviously, you can't show them. I want to show y'all my 3 favorite, and I tried to pull 3 from 3 different kind of times when I got these bobbleheads, but it is National Bobblehead Day. And so it is a national holiday. I don't know if you knew that. We should have all been off work, but we weren't. So we need to get the federal government to recognize that. So National Bobblehead Day 2024. This is probably my all-time favorite, not because Eric broke it live on air. He has one, but I've never taken this out of the box. It's the Alex Bregman walk-off bobblehead. It's never been removed. It's got the Never Settle on the back. It tells the story. Bregman appearing in just his second full major league season, had a number of key hits and highlight reel defensive plays that propelled Houston to its first World Series championship. That right there is my all-time favorite. Now, I've got one that I got from Foco. I absolutely love this. I got this one. I've got Jose Altuve, I believe, and they had an Alex Bregman one, and I missed out the chance. What's great about these are numbered. You can't see on the bottom. This is number 56 of 321, but this is in the sweet Tequila Sunrise jersey. It's got his name and number. Just a really cool bobblehead from Foco. So those are my 2 favorite ones. And then this is actually probably going to be one of my favorites, and Mama Wheelhouse is going to be jealous about this. Right here is the Jose Altuve first career hit and the Jose Altuve 2000th career hit. Hoping to add a 3,000 career hit one to this. That would be great. But this, I think, was probably one of the better ones that they've done in a long time. I love Jose Altuve in the uniform that he started playing in. So there you go. Those are my 3 favorite. Of course, you can see in the back. I've got a lot more than 3. There's a lot more that I could show. But I don't know how many people are going to listen online or on audio to me showing bobbleheads. But Justin Verlander, no longer a Houston Astro. I think we saw the writing on the wall. Some people thought that they might try to sign him. Some of y'all are saying that he should have only made $7 million. Well, if he's in California, he's only making about $7 million. Need to send our thoughts and prayers out to the people in the Hollywood, Los Angeles area as they're dealing with major wildfires, like 100+ mile-an-hour winds. I know we've got some people that listen up in North Texas, in the northern part of Texas, or just anywhere north of Houston that consider North Texas. You guys are dealing with a freeze. You guys are dealing with possible snow and wintry precipitation. So please, y'all be safe as y'all go throughout the week. It could get nasty out there. Brett has got to show his full collection one day. Jordan, I might do that. It might take some organizing, but I'll see what I can do. I do on my windowsill have some of the older bobbleheads that they made, and they're a little bit more sturdy. They're more like porcelain figurines. They were porcelain figurines. They weren't really bobbleheads. So they gave those away in the early 2000s. I've got a Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan one. I've got another Nolan Ryan one, a Jose Cruz. I got some really cool throwbacks back there. But yeah, Jordan, I will do that. But man, 126 of y'all showing up. Look, Houston Astros right now, their roster is better. Well, it's better today than it was a couple weeks ago because they've added some players. It's worse today in other aspects, in that you've lost Bregman, you've lost Kyle Tucker. It's funny how I pause when I say that, because I think we're reaching uncharted territory and a season that is going to be just a lot of up and down. But we're going to talk about what my opening day rotation is for 2025 after these words. If you're ready to start your financial life and launch it into the stratosphere, stop paying for subscriptions that you have two of. That's right. That's what I did. I've got all these subscriptions that I have that I didn't realize I was paying double on some, and Rocket Money took out all that stuff. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings, so you can grow your financial freedom. That's right. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members of up to $740 a year using the app's premium features. For me, the best feature is the subscription tracker. You can cancel unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. Get Rocket Money now. That's right. Let's make sure you make Locked On Astros your first listen. Like, comment, and subscribe. Help us to get to 13,126 of y'all. I need to see 126 likes because we like that a lot. It is going to be crazy times. I was watching some of these videos of it's insane. I didn't know this. Now, I know that the sample size that Kyle Tucker is judged on this last year is very small, but we know he was having really an MVP year until he fouled a freaking ball off of his shin and literally broke his leg in the process and missed 3 months. But I didn't know this. He had dropped his chase rate to 16.7% and has dropped it every year in his major league career. The chances are Kyle Tucker could very much have a monster season at Wrigley Field. Oof. And let me tell you, the National League people aren't happy about it because they now have to face him like all the time versus every once in a while in an interleague game. Of course, we know the games are spread out more evenly, so that's not as big of an issue. But to see Kyle Tucker in a Cubs uniform just is going to be like, I'm going to have to wipe my eyes and like, am I seeing the right thing? Because he was the one guy that I thought the Houston Astros would absolutely go out and make that deal for, because I think he's your classic 5-tool player. I think he adds a lot. Hey, get this. Before we get to my rotation, the Astros actually signed somebody, but is it a big name? Well, I'll let you be the judge. They signed Zach Short to a minor league deal. He has 219 games of major league experience with 4 seasons between Boston, Detroit, Atlanta, and the Mets. More than likely, he's projected to get an invite to big league camp. But this is just another depth piece, and people were slamming Dana Brown's signing of this guy. Like, why are we signing minor league guys? Why are we signing depth pieces? Why are we not going and getting the Santander? Why are we not going out and getting, Santander? Why are we not getting the bigger names? And we've got to remember where we are and how we got here. Okay. Number one, Dana Brown is in a situation where $36 million, I believe, if I'm incorrect on that fact, y'all can fact check me on that, but it's around $36 million of dead money of contracts that he didn't sign. So he's having to do that. I do believe that what Dana Brown has been given, with what he's been given, he has done the best job of putting a competitive team on the field. Now, I know this includes Kyle Tucker leaving. I know this includes Alex Bregman not being back. But you at least got something for him. And no, they're not going to trade Cam Smith for Justin Verlander midseason. That's not going to happen. There are some people that they can release as far as salary cap wise to be able to make room to sign somebody else. But outside of Ryan Presley giving up his no trade clause and agreeing to something, and the Astros taking on a majority of his salary, they would have to trade trade someone like Mauricio Dubon or Victor Caratini. And then that right there, you're weakening yourself because you have fewer options at the utility or the first base catching position. I, for one, like Cam Smith. I, for one, like the fact that we got Htown Wheelhouse. And I'm going to talk to y'all about something about that coming up on the 18th that I'm helping out with. It's going to be a really neat thing. But here's my starting rotation going into 2025. It doesn't include Luis Garcia. I don't think he's going to be ready till May. My starting rotation right now, going out of the gates, if the season started today, Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, and Htown Wheelhouse. Now, you could probably flip Spencer and Ronel. It depends. Depends on who you're facing. But I like this starting rotation. The big question mark is, how is Spencer Arrighetti going to perform? Hunter Brown, we know he signed Scott Boras. And because he signed Scott Boras, he didn't sign Scott Boras, like I said last night on the podcast or the other day on the podcast. He didn't sign Scott Boras so that he could get some cheap extension from the Astros. He signed Scott Boras because he wants big money. He wants free agent money. Speaking of free agents, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Pete Alonso. Okay, so Pete Alonso is represented by Scott Boras. Scott Boras said that Pete Alonso is looking for a contract similar to what Prince Fielder signed, $200+ million contract. But Prince Fielder's career ended early. These teams don't like these massive contracts. And unless you're the LA Dodgers or the Mets, well, I guess the Yankees too, some of the big dogs, you're not seeing 10, 15, 14-year deals. And the whole thing with Alex Bregman is he's getting held up because he wants that 7-year. I bet you he gets a 4-year deal. But I like right here, Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, 1-2 punch. I think Framber Valdez is a pitcher. I know I said all through the season, trade him. But if they don't trade him, they intend to keep him. I can see the Astros making him a deal that hopefully he doesn't turn down. Ronel Blanco, we don't know how he's going to do. He pitched more than he's ever pitched in his life last season. How's his arm going to hold up? Longevity, Spencer Arrighetti, Htown Wheelhouse. Now, the other men that are up for a spot in the starting rotation, I don't think opening day, but outside of opening day would be someone like Luis Garcia. Lance McCullers, I think, goes straight to the bullpen. You have Ryan Gusto. You have Colton Gordon. You have arms in AAA Sugarland that could come up and make a major contribution to this team. But when it comes to opening day, when it comes to your first 5 guys that you see coming out into opening week, I think those are the 5 pitchers that you will see on the mound. And I don't necessarily hate it. You just like Htown Wheelhouse, I think it could be a bright spot and could surprise a lot of people because he's done both pitching and he's done both relief and starting pitching. The other guy, AJ Blueball in AAA Sugarland. So those are 3 names. Those are 3 names that the Houston Astros will be looking at to fill spots. You got Logan Van Way. I don't know that he comes up as a starter, but he could be a middle relief guy that I think is going to turn some heads. We'll continue more conversation about your favorite team after we talk about our friends at at Gametime. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime is a downloadable app that you use to get the tickets you want when you want them. No longer are you having to plan months in advance. You know, there's a concert in May in Houston for your favorite band, but you can literally wait till May. You can literally wait till the day of the concert. I've done it with Astros tickets. I've done it with Joe Coy. I've done it with several different events that I've been to. I don't plan. Sometimes I just like to go. I get up and go. Let's go to a concert. Let's go to an Astros game. You pull out the app. You look for the tickets. You look for the super deals. They sift through all the stuff that you don't want to look at. You find the ticket. You buy it. You purchase it. You're in. Now, if you're a first-time customer, you get $20 off using the promo code LOCKEDONMLB on your first purchase. Terms do apply. They have the best customer service and flexible plan possible out there in the ticketing industry. They let you see where your seats are, and they also will credit you 110% the difference of a ticket if your ticket is more expensive than on another site. So if you find a seat in the same row in the same section for a lower price, after you made your purchase, they'll credit you 110% the difference. So you have more money in your pocket. So go to Gametime today. Download the app. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. What time is it? Game time. Well, again, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all are amazing. Christian Javier will not, they were saying will be here around May. I have a hard time believing he is here before June. Christian Javier, I just don't think he is going to come around. Someone said McCullers worries more about walking his dogs around. See, Lance McCullers been taken on the chin, and I don't think there's anybody in Houston that wants more, that wants Lance McCullers to be on the field more than Lance McCullers. He takes a lot of pride in who he is. And if you've been following our show for a few years, the first Astros interview that we did was Lance McCullers Jr. at spring training. It was when Carlos Correa was still here. It was a good interview, shared some cool stories. But at the end of the day, he just had bad luck with his health, with his elbow. I'm just hoping he contributes, folks. I'm just hoping he's contribute. So Lance McCullers, I would say, is a bullpen guy. I guess they're going to try to make him a starter. You also have Christian Javier. I don't expect him till June. It's just one of these tough spots that we're in. I mean, we're going to need pitching. Again, guys like Logan Van Way, Ryan Gusto, AJ Blueball. You've got Uola. You've got Gordon. I mean, you've got several options, several arms that can throw really solid innings for the Houston Astros. The question is right now, are they going to get this outfield in a better position? Because right now, if they go into the offseason, if they go into the regular season from the offseason and they don't address at least another bat, I mean, even a veteran, go get Grichuk, go get Jesse Winker. I don't care. Get somebody else. And there's a lot of words that get thrown around. You know, are they going to use a platoon? Are they going to, are they just going to have situational guys? I don't know what they're going to do, but they don't have much room. And Santander does not appear to be going to sign in Houston. I don't think he's going to sign in Toronto. And I'm hearing more and more. And I don't know if you guys listen to social media, you guys look around and you read enough articles, you gather enough information. I gather that there's not a lot of players clamoring to go to Toronto. And my question is, why would Santander want to go to Toronto if he knows that more than likely Bichette and Guerrero have a strong possibility of not staying in Toronto? Why would you want to sign a contract there, then have Bichette and Guerrero both leave, and then you're there? Carlos Baerga said today on MLB Network TV he said, look, I know the Astros really haven't expressed a ton of interest in him, but he would fit perfectly on the Houston Astros roster. And I'm like, I know. And I think the Astros want him, but I don't think that it's probable that they get him. Like wanting a player and realistically bringing him on and making it work, like financially, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. And all the stuff we've heard here and there, it's just kind of words, Do I care about Jesse Winker being a jerk? Well, I didn't know Jesse Winker was a jerk. That's news to me. I don't know every single baseball player's personality traits, but I guess Panda, if he's a jerk, then no, we don't want a jerk on our team. That's why we don't want that guy, the one that isn't ever going to pitch in the major leagues. Bauer. Yeah, we don't want jerk Bauer. Someone said taxes in Canada. Oh, Canadian taxes are ridiculous. I've got relatives in Canada, dude. It ain't fun up there tax wise. But yeah, so some people have mentioned Harrison Bader. Yeah, I just none of the options really excite me. And what hurts, I think, the most with the Kyle Tucker trade is you don't have someone replacing his absence. When Correa left, you had Jeremy Pena. When you had Garrett Cole left, you had pitchers step up. When these guys have left, you've had someone to come into the team to take their place. Even though Dallas Keuchel didn't have the best career after the Astros, when you lost him, he had done some significant things. You were able to replace him. That's the problem here. Castellanos, I don't know. Please, no Castellanos. I don't want that guy here. Bauer is legit in the Mexican Baseball League. Bauer has not been legit in the major leagues for 3 years. There's a difference between throwing 20 strikeouts in the Mexican Baseball League and doing it in the major leagues. If he was a position player and a hitter and doing crazy good things, I would say maybe let's look at him. But here's the deal. Someone says, I would rather have Jacob Melton than any of these options. I think Jacob Melton can turn heads at spring training, and I want to wrap it up on this. But I don't think Jacob Melton will be up here. And what are some other names down there in Sugarland? Quincy Hamilton, he could fill a role maybe if they're dealing with an injury. But I just don't know how Quincy gets his way on this team. I've actually had him on the show. I've interviewed him in person in Sugarland, and great guy, hard worker. I mean, he is a guy that you want on the team. But I don't know what's holding him back. His overall numbers probably, but he is a guy that I could see at some point making it up. Look, Bryce Matthews is in AAA. How long will he remain there? Okay. Again, they got Zach Short. He is automatically in AAA Sugarland on their roster, but they have to fill their rosters on the AAA level, just like the Astros have to fill their roster. So let's see what's going to happen. Quincy Hamilton, Jacob Melton, the only two outfielders mentioned, but remember, they are not on the 40-man roster. So you don't have any of these guys that are on the 40-man currently that you would have to, someone have to come off for them to go on, or someone have to go on the IL 60-day or something like that to bring them up. JJ Matijevic, gone. I believe he was cut. He was released. And I don't know where he is now. But he is no longer a Houston Astro. No, I just like Quincy Hamilton. I think Quincy Hamilton's got a great bat. He can track a ball down. But I think he's like a lot of other guys in AAA where they're really good. They're just not major league good. And to be really good is still really good, if that makes sense. I really don't think they're going to spend money on Profar, Rob. I want them to. I don't think they are. Let's see, Santander strikes out too much. His on-base percentage is terrible. Yeah. He also hit 44 home runs. Can you imagine adding 40 plus home runs with two guys that have potential of hitting 30 each? And if Jose Altuve has a power year, and if Diaz has a power year, I mean, you got a lineup that's huge. Look, Johnny, you're right. He says, I don't think, Brett, we're going to find anybody else right now. If the team is still doing well, the trade deadline will go after somebody. You can imagine. Yeah, for sure. But Jay Roberts, I think Santander, is better than Chris Carter. I think Chris Carter is Chris Carter by himself. Hayward is a good option. He's a little bit older, but he came here, made some contributions. So there are things that we can look at. Let's run it like this. Hey, let's just do it, man. I mean, why not? Why not? Dorothy mentioned that Brian Matuiz passed away. Now, I'm sorry if I'm at a loss for not knowing that name. Dorothy, if you could fill me in on that, I apologize. I pride myself on knowing a lot of baseball and a lot of names, but that's not a name that strikes a chord with me. Okay. Metajevic plays in the Mexican League. Por los Calientes de Durango. I hope I did that right, Emilio. Hope I didn't chop up the Spanish language there. Well, hey, from myself, from everybody here at Locked On Astros, this has been a great show. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. Eric the Man Heisman will be back. We will have, let's see, what is today? Tuesday. We'll have one more show this week for sure. And unless something breaks in, y'all don't worry about a thing, because the Houston Astros will get back to playing baseball sooner rather than later. And I think this team will do well. It may be a rocky and rough ride, but we're here for it. Y'all have a good one. And as always, go Stros.